What's up, everybody? Welcome back to How It's Done, the YouTube channel where we show and tell you how it's done. So on today's episode, we're going to be showing you how to go through and replace some broken window panes. So say you got like a bullet hole in one of them or just a couple cracks in one of them, the process is going to be the same. This is only going to work on single pane windows. If you've got double pane gas filled or even triple pane windows or anything like that, this is not going to work. You're going to have to call a window company. This glass can easily be bought at Lowe's, Home Depot, glass company. Lowe's will actually cut it for you at the recording of this video anyways. But before you go ahead and remove the glass, you're going to have a little prep work to do. Really easy. All you're going to need is a razor blade, some silicone, and your glass. Alright, so once you've got all your gear together, you're ready to get after this, first thing you want to do is take measurements. Now, you're going to be measuring from this middle point right here to this point right here, because on the inside there's a little bit more of a lip, and that's what this glass is going to be pressed up against. Measure each pane that you're replacing. Don't just measure one and assume that they're all the same, because as is the case with this one, they're not. These middle two are actually the same size. This one here is actually half an inch less in width. The height is the same. Alright, so after you've got your measurements, you're going to go to Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever you want to get the glass. I would recommend going somewhere, and before you buy the glass, make sure that they can cut it the exact size you need. Because if they can't, you're going to have to cut it yourself. I wouldn't recommend that, especially if you've never done it before. It's not something I would really recommend you doing as a DIY, unless you really, feel that you're going to have a knack for it, but we're not going to get into that in this video. So once you've got that glass, you take your razor blade, and this will actually come off in most cases. It doesn't come off where you can reuse it, but you'll just run your razor blade along the inside here. You're going to have to work it a couple times to get it to the point, because this is glued in place, and eventually you'll get to the point where that'll come off. You'll do that on all four of them for every single window that is cracked or broken, and then you'll be able to start removing the glass. Alright, so here's kind of what it's going to look like when you're removing it. You see it's still got some of that adhesive on there, and it's cracking. It's so brittle from being in the sun. So yeah, we're not going to be able to reuse these, and I don't know where to get these from. If someone knows where to get these from, please comment below, because I do this a lot and these would really be helpful. So we'll do that on the rest of these, and then it's time to take the glass out. Alright, so I needed both hands for this next part, but once you got that done, go on the inside and gently with a razor start to work your way around the edges, just enough to where it's going to start to loosen it up enough to where you can press a little bit. What ended up happening here, as I was doing that, it actually broke another line across, and I was able to push two pieces out. This one right here with the little bullet hole, we're going to have to break across so that we can press it out. Probably same thing up here with this one. We'll have to make another little break. Once you've got a little line going across where it's starting to break, you can just apply light pressure and it'll break all the way across. So once you've got that done, you can just bend these pieces out and they'll come off. And we can actually do this from the other side as well. There we go. Sometimes you just got to work it a little bit. There you go. So let's go on the other side and see if we can get this last piece. Alright, so I just tried pulling this piece with the two hands, and the piece in the middle here broke off. Typically, you're not going to be able to pull it if it's got three sides attached. It's doable if only two sides are attached. It does take a little bit more work, and you have to be super careful with it. Again, this is why we're wearing gloves and safety glasses. So little piece out of there. And I'm just setting all these on top of the ladder for now. This guy. And then this one you can see is connected to both sides, so it might be a little bit trickier to do. But you just have to lightly apply pressure. Yeah, I can see him starting to try and break there already. Yeah, I'll try it this side. You know, the other thing as I'm doing this that I think I might try on, well, what I might try next time I have one of these is applying heat, because this does feel kind of gummy, and I'm thinking that heat might help loosen that up a little bit. And this still works, but you know, I'm all for making it easier, so we can try that. I think you just want to make sure that your edges are nice and clean. I'm going to go over this with a flathead screwdriver just to make sure that all the different little pieces of caulking and debris are removed. If I need to, I'll use a razor, but typically a flathead screwdriver will do the trick. So to dispose of the glass for the little pieces, I'm just going to put them on some tape here, and we'll tape that back up. Kind of tape them all together, cover up the sharp edges with tape so that nobody's going to get cut. And for the bigger pieces, we're going to just put tape along the edges. A little tricky to do with gloves. Then you can either throw this in a cardboard box or wrap it in cardboard or something like that. That's the safest bet for getting rid of, you know, broken glass. Alright, so for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screwdriver and just try and work these pieces out first. There we go. Let's see if it'll work on this guy. Yep. Alright, and now to break it across, I'm just going to put the screwdriver in there and gently apply pressure. You can see it breaking. Again, you don't want to just smash it with a hammer. I mean, you could, but you know, a lot more cleanup comes with that method. A little bit more pressure. Get it to go all the way across. I think that's it. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna have to do this from the inside. As weird as it may sound, sometimes the angle that the glass breaks at, it's easier to push out than in, or vice versa. And that's what happened here, is that these pieces, it's not wanting to focus on the glass. I guess that's a testament to how clean it is, but yeah, these want to push out. And then, like I said, this one's going to be difficult. We're going to probably have to make another break here. I might just try running my razor along it, seeing if that'll do it. So I tried pulling this bottom piece here, and a chunk of it snapped off, landed on the ground. Fortunately, it didn't break. The risk you run of just breaking them as they hit the ground and they shatter into a billion pieces, and then you've got that cleanup. So now we're going to try and just, since these are still touching, I'm going to try and pull it from here and see. It actually feels like it's losing. There we go. Okay. Good. So that's working. Yeah. Perfect. Cool. So now let's try. Again, this might not work too well because we've got a piece over here and a piece over here, and then the whole bottom that's attached. So, that's not. Boy, that's really on there. Just lightly applying pressure. It's starting to give though. Yep, okay. So that's starting to give. So now let's try this one. There we go. Look at that. See? A little bit of time and patience. That's all it takes. Alright, cool. On to the last one. We'll go ahead and get this one removed, and then it's time to put them back together. One thing I will point out too, these frames get really flimsy without the glass in there. You can see it's got quite a bit of give. I'm not sure if you can tell, but yeah. So just be careful. Don't overdo it with the pressure you're applying. You don't want to break even more panes while removing the ones that you're in the process of repairing. Yeah. Alright, so you're going to want to do a quick test fit. Just make sure that it fits right, that you've got a good amount covering, about 1/4 inch on this one, you know, top and bottom. If it'll focus, there you go. See, you got about 1/4 inch. Oop. Yeah, it's wanting to focus on what's behind me. There we go. And that way you can be sure that the adhesive we're using, the silicone, is going to grab it. I went ahead and put some tape that I just folded over on itself. Makes really good handles to be able to maneuver this when it's on there without having to. I mean, obviously here we have openings on the top that we can stick our hand through to adjust it, but when you get to that last piece, this is going to come in handy. So yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use our silicone to just put a small bead along the entire surface inside here, and then we will put the glass back on and adjust it, get it right in place, and let that dry. Alright, so now that the silicone is dry, you can see that there's some spots where it squeezed out. That's completely normal. That's going to happen. More than anything, you want to make sure that you get a good seal, because this is keeping the weather out, keeping the elements out. So we'll go ahead and just take a razor blade and just place it along that edge and just drag it straight down. Do that one more time. And then switch hands here. Just gently work that out. Just enough to loosen it from the glass. You can easily just fold this off. We'll clean it up a little bit more. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So we'll go around and do that with the rest of the pieces here. And yeah, that's the inside cleanup. Here we go. And you can always take some rubbing alcohol and get that all cleaned up there. It's not 100% dry. It's still a little tacky, so probably wait to do the rest of them until it's 100% dry. But yeah, that's all there is to clean up, just a razor.